You guys will never believe this, but tonight started off so basic it was almost funny. Just me at home, juggling keys and a to-do list, half focused on leaving when that knock came and put my plans on hold. I remember standing there for a split second, debating whether to answer. There's something so ordinary about a mistaken package delivery that you'd never expect anything exciting to come from it. But what happened next still makes my heart race. It's amazing how quickly a routine can flip and give you a story worth telling. When I opened the door, there was Mr. Everett, the older neighbor everyone on our street seems to know. It wasn't unusual to see him, but tonight something felt different. He smiled with a warmth that put me at ease, but I could sense a spark of curiosity behind his eyes, like he was just as surprised to be in this situation as I was. We exchanged the usual pleasantries, jokes about the hopelessness of package couriers on our block, and I played along, teasing him about his luck always drawing the short straw of delivery mistakes. But our conversation didn't fade out the way these things normally do. Instead, it blossomed into something fuller, denser, like the air around us was charged with more than just polite small talk. I cracked a joke about maybe the universe using packages as an excuse for us to spend time together, and to my surprise, he volleyed right back. There was something charming about how he played along, but also a sense of care, as if he was testing the boundaries gently, never pushing too hard. That made me relax and open up more than I intended, sharing a few stories about deliveries gone wrong, neighborhood gossip, even a couple secrets about the quirks of life on our street. It's funny how easily time slips away. What should have been a delivery that lasted a minute or two turned into nearly half an hour at my door. There was this ebb and flow, with moments of quiet that weren't uncomfortable at all. Just comfortable pauses where I'd let myself notice how close he was, the way his eyes crinkled when he smiled, even the rich, soothing sound of his laugh. I realized I was lingering, hoping he wouldn't hurry off, even though my plans were slowly dissolving in the most pleasant way. He brought up music, and I learned he once played jazz piano in smoky little clubs years ago, something that, for a second, made him seem young and bold, not just the neighbor who helps with trash cans. We talked about our weirdest packages. Seriously, who sends 3 dozen rubber ducks to a person on purpose? And somehow the conversation shifted to favorite books and movies, another unexpected overlap that kept sparking this sense of connection. When he finally picked up his package, our fingers touched a little longer than they needed to, and there was a crackle in that tiny contact. It wasn't fireworks, but that's what made it so real. Sometimes it's the smallest things that make the biggest impression. I teased him about owing me more compliments, and he played along, giving me a few that landed just right, warm but always respectful, reminding me that a little harmless flirting can brighten an ordinary night. There were moments he could have walked away, but he didn't, and neither did I. I asked about his plans for the holidays, and he told me about his family, about being a mentor in a community group, and the conversation took on even more depth. I found myself surprised by how much I wanted to keep hearing his stories, to learn from someone who's lived so much more life than I have. When he did finally leave, it wasn't with a rushed goodbye, but a lingering wave and a smile that spoke volumes. I closed the door, adrenaline buzzing in my veins, feeling like I'd stepped into an entirely new version of myself, someone bolder, more open to the unexpected. I walked around my apartment, replaying everything, his compliments, the way I teased him, the little jokes that passed between us like a secret. Even later, when I sat down to focus on what I'd planned for the night, my mind kept drifting back to that doorway. It made me wonder how many other ordinary moments I'd missed for the sake of hurried routines. Tonight felt like a reminder to slow down and let the world surprise me, to be open to the small experiences that sometimes matter the most. I couldn't help but smile at how much a mistaken delivery had shifted my whole evening, how it lingered in my thoughts long after the conversation was finished. There's a quiet thrill in knowing that life can change direction with something as small as a knock on the door, that sometimes stories find you even when you're not searching. So yes, what started as an everyday mix-up turned into one of those nights you replay in your head and wonder, is this the beginning of something? If you ever catch yourself wishing for something new or hoping for a little magic, maybe look twice when life throws those interruptions your way. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, let me share what happened after that moment, because as the evening unfolded, I couldn't stop replaying it all in my head. I paced around my apartment, feeling this strange blend of excitement and nervousness, catching myself laughing at nothing whenever I remembered the way he teased me. The world outside my window seemed quieter than usual, like even the city was waiting for my next move. I found myself paying extra attention to everything. The music I played sounded richer, the lights felt warmer, and every little thing about my home suddenly seemed to carry new weight. I made tea but let it go cold, distracted by flashes of our conversation. I texted a couple friends about how weirdly interesting my night had gotten, but when I reread the messages, I realized I couldn't put the feeling into words. At one point, I even considered walking over to his place, not with an excuse, but just to keep the conversation going. I imagined what we'd talk about, maybe stories from our lives, maybe more debates about jazz, maybe just comfortable silence. But I stopped myself, telling my heart to settle down, to let anticipation do its quiet work. After all, the best things never feel rushed. My reflections turned deeper. I thought about all the times I'd let routine sweep me past tiny moments like this, and how tonight changed my perspective. The next day, surely, I'd be more willing to linger in doorways, to laugh at delivery blunders, and to welcome whatever surprises fate decided to send my way. Even my dreams were different. That night, I drifted into sleep still smiling, half hoping for another knock, another chance to step outside my comfort zone. In the morning, the thrill was still there, a sense that the ordinary had been transformed by a simple exchange. I knew the story wasn't over, and I was, for once, content to let it unfold however it wanted. So if you ever find your own routine interrupted, lean in and see what stories might be waiting for you. Magic hides in ordinary encounters, if you're willing to pay attention. Don't forget to like and subscribe.